The desperate hunger to attain beauty to mask the decay.
Why on earth would you choose to walk around like this? You could easily be walking around like this.
Look at this. I'm getting ready for the day, and this is what I have to wake up and deal with. Today I'm gonna go ahead and use my Peter Thomas Roth. I didn't feel like I looked like such a monster anymore.
The craving to defy time itself, to rewrite the laws of aging with needles, scalpels, and desperation.
Oh, it makes you feel like $1,000,000.
Some even dream of escaping death entirely.
Russian billionaire Dmitry Itchkov seeks to create immortality by uploading your consciousness to a computer, and that is actually possible.
But me, I left those mortal anxieties behind me centuries ago. Yet among all the fears, one consumes mortals more than death itself.
I would wear a sauna suit twice a day.
Before you consider drastic weight loss measures with dangerous side effects, try Golo.
Welcome to Weight Loss in America.
That's right. The endless hunger to stay thin. So sit down, my layer is your layers for the time being, and let's talk about the disturbing world of the Ozempic influencer. Lovers filming their partners as they plunge the needle in their guts. A ritual now shot like a romance scene. What I eat in a day on Ozempic videos flood the interwebs. Mortals proudly displaying their lack of hunger like a pride.
That makes me so nauseous.
Even tutorials exist for those eager to learn how to indulge in this fashionable little poison, some would say.
Today's shot day, and I'm gonna show you how to prime the pen.
Yes, the Ozempic influencer is on the rise, but with the rise of influencers come plenty of lies.
This weight loss TikToker just lost all of her credibility.
You are a big, fat liar.
A lot of drama.
I just saw a TikTok come up on my For You page of this influencer who's already very thin talking about how she's taking Ozempic.
And of course, the side effects.
Guys, people are suing saying that they've lost 20 years of muscle in a single year taking Ozempic.
Everywhere we turn, we're seeing Ozempic. Billboards, commercials, even celebrities and athletes are now promoting it.
Yes, I'm on row.
Gym bros are using GLP-1s to get shredded.
But my mortals, I am getting ahead of myself. You see, Ozempic wasn't created as this miracle weight loss shot. It was made for people with type 2 diabetes to help lower their blood sugar. That's it. But then something happened. Doctors noticed their patients were losing a significant amount of weight on this drug.
Ozempic was never really approved for weight loss. It was approved for diabetes. So what they saw was people was having this huge weight loss. And so now you have all these diabetics who were trying to get on the drug for the purposes of helping their blood sugar and their insulin issues. Now they can't even get the drug because it's selling out.
Suddenly, a drug meant for diabetes turned into the new get skinny quick injection. Many forms of the shot would sprout out, and the internet lost their mind in hopes that they could also lose their gut. It wasn't long before the medicine meant for diabetics became the newest accessory of the rich and the restless. A weekly ritual disguised as wellness.
So I really want to encourage healthiness and not about the number on a scale.
Many of the peons started noticing that celebrities who always struggled with their weight suddenly seemed to drop pounds quickly, almost like magic. Once plump, youthful faces suddenly turned hauntingly hollow. Once full of life, their eyes now rest in shadowed caverns. Once supple, mortal lips transform into something strange, as if the face forgot to rest. People started to question, how are they doing it all of a sudden? Was it hard work? Hiking? Right, Oprah?
Made it to the fence line. Hiking, first of all, is such a beautiful metaphor for life.
They played that game for a while, and then they told the truth.
Oprah Winfrey has finally confirmed she uses weight loss medication after months of speculation.
The black cat was out of the bag. Ozempic GLP-1s were the new miracle pill, or shall I say, shot.
We're one of the first people to be like, yeah, I was on Ozempic, didn't know, but
yes.
What do we think of this Ozempic takeover in Hollywood?
Well, listen, it's a miracle for anyone who's ever struggled with their weight. It really is, and a lot of people have.
Everyone's saying that Ozempic is evil, this is the worst thing ever, but a lot of people are being overdosed for weight loss, and this leads to a very high risk for side effects. But Ozempic, done correctly, has all these other benefits that have nothing to do with weight loss, and they are just mind-blowing.
But the drug was expensive, but who else can afford these little shots that go up to $1,300 a pop? Influencers, and more influencers would come out and say, take Ozempic with me. The more mainstream Ozempic or these drugs got, the more influencers held up that little shot and struck it into their gut because people want to be thin. It was everywhere, but many can't afford it, and influencers love to have what people want. It increases their views. And the more the public saw celebrities losing weight, the more influencers held up that magic drug, the more people said, this is what people do to lose weight. Everyone is on Ozempic or some type of GLP-1.
Everyone is on Ozempic or semaglutide.
No one believes that anyone could lose weight without it. And thus now whenever someone shows that they lost some pounds, many would accuse them of the magic drug. And then the lies began. Janelle Ronner was a TikToker known for her interesting keto recipes.
Keto finds coming at ya.
So you're thinking, keto, nothing wrong with that. A little boring and very meaty, which I don't mind. But how would she get so popular from keto recipes? Well, her keto recipes would get very popular because she would eat a lot of bell peppers.
Snack time at work, you already know what I'm having.
She would eat these bell peppers with tuna.
So I just finished at the gym and I am gonna eat. I have just a packet of tuna and a bell pepper.
She just really had a little hankering for bell pepper. Don't worry, mortals, she ate other things and you guys are going to absolutely love this recipe. How about a tomato sandwich where there's absolutely no bread and the tomato is the bread?
Oh my god, yum.
Oh, that's beneath you? Well, Janelle would say tomato sandwiches are
bussin'.
It's bussin' was Janelle's catchphrase, if you will, and this little phrase would catch on all her recipes because according to Janelle, they were always bussin'.
And to answer your question, yeah, it's bussin'.
The catchphrase would catch on so much that little old grannies would even ask Janelle,
oh, is that thing bustin', Janelle?
The more keto and weird and slightly wrong Janelle would make her recipes, the more popularity she would attain. Simple sushi rolls at home. These were bussin'. The only problem was people didn't find this bussin'.
Tuna salad is not sushi.
People hated her meals. They questioned, how are you eating like this? But they continued to watch, and her popularity kept on growing. But many people had questions. They inquired about sweets. You mortals and your sweets, you always need your sugar. And people were getting tired of the bell pepper recipes. And Janelle said, don't you worry, I've got a treat for you.
For snack tonight, I'm having my favorite, watermelon and cinnamon. I could seriously just like eat this for a meal.
Well, she must have gotten tired of all the cucumber, watermelon with a vile amount of cinnamon on top, and of course her favorite, raw bell peppers, because one day she would quit.
It's not bussin'.
What do you mean it's not bussin', Janelle?
You see, Janelle would do this keto diet for years, trying to lose weight, and many people would say things like, you look exactly the same. You haven't lost any weight. They would even inquire if she was pregnant. I mean, personally, if I'm eating bell peppers and cottage cheese for years instead of a juicy, thick neck, and some heathen on TikTok asked me if I was pregnant, I would absolutely lose it. And Janelle decided to lose the weight she must drop keto and decided to announce it on her TikTok. Goodbye keto and hello macros and balance, health and happiness. Bell peppers were out, counting macros were in. Cheers to new beginnings. But with new beginnings comes new fears unlocked, and she expressed that in a way that only TikTokers know how, by lip syncing to popular songs.
Am I scared? Nah. I'm scared.
Eventually the comments turned from you look no different to oh my gosh, your whole body looks completely different. How did you do it? And eventually Janelle would share her big secret.
Thank you so much for the sweet comment. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know this has been quite the journey. And I mean like years and years. But anyways, if we just go back like 8 months, I started tracking macros. Technically, I did a reverse diet and then I did a conservative cut. And then now I'm kind of like maintenance-ish. If you want to know, I share a lot more over on my Instagram. It's linked in my bio. Go check it out.
The reason why Janelle wanted people to go to her Instagram is not only for free content, no, but she was selling her big secret, oh yes, with money, on how to attain these fast results in her new program. She was looking for 10 serious clients who wanted to change their lifestyle. She did disclose that it was not going to be fast and they would need at least 3 months for about $200 per month. So a total of $600, but can you really put a price? Feeling better, eating real whole foods, and no more diets? Well, I mean, Janelle did. Once Janelle started selling programs, people started busting her chops, especially when she was looking even more lean. And the constant comments would get to her and she would eventually come clean.
Hi guys, it's Janelle. This is a very hard video for me to record. Yes, over the last year, I have decided to make some new choices in my health. I started working with a doctor and we did decide to add a GLP-1 to my plan.
People were so angry, not because she took a GLP-1, no, but because she decided to sell a program after she lost weight, gave the credit to macros, calories, and hard work, and sold that with a $200 a month price tag.
It's just a tool to help. I still had to show up for my meals, track my macros, drink my water, go on walks, do my workouts, everything that I already teach and believe in. It just helped me regain a sense of control. And it's something that I don't want to be ashamed of. And I don't think other women or men who are using this tool should feel ashamed either.
But the damage was done. People wanted their money back. The comments flooded in, the commentary channels made their videos. Fitness influencer scams her clients, the headlines read. Overnight, Janelle turned herself into an Ozempic influencer, even though she probably doesn't want to be known as that. All because she lied.
Okay, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just trying to do the right thing and I'm trying to be honest now. I could have kept this a secret. I could have gone on and on for years and not told, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that influencer.
Many people give any type of change to her body the credit to GLP-1s. In fact, people think that now she's obsessed with them, as she has gotten very lean, slim, and still takes the medication.
Okay, so yes, I have still been taking the microdose. I take like 0.5 of semaglutide like every 3 to 4 weeks. Seems to like really work for me.
She also seems to be dabbling in a lot of procedures to give her a more aesthetically pleasing look.
Okay, today is 2-week post-op. Let me show you what I'm looking like.
Many of her comment sections are flooded with people saying that she's starting to look not so healthy. She seems to be taking it to the extreme, knocking out health and more focused on the look and the obsession.
But here is the belly button. It's super swollen.
Many saying that she's attained the Ozempic body, and Janelle just embraces the compliments. As of now, what Janelle's doing after the scandal, well, she's paying back her dues for her deceitfulness, and she's doing a free workout series such as walking as she stares into the camera, pleading to people to not limit her accomplishments to that one little drug. Although Janelle has changed her body, there is one thing she hasn't changed, and that's her sweet treat at the end of the day.
Friendly reminder that the absolute best way to eat watermelon is with cinnamon on top.
Since we're on the topic of taking it too far and the Ozempic body, why don't we lead into someone who started sweet and then turned into a combative, almost skeleton version of herself? Amy in Half started as just a small TikToker with a small audience sharing her weight loss on Mounjaro. She had an extremely calming voice. She was sweet, she was relaxed, she was non-combative.
Get ready with me for the day. I've been getting asked a couple questions about my diet during my weight loss. For those who don't know me, I'm Amy. I am 34 and I have recently lost over the past year and a half about 140, 150 pounds. So I haven't kept any strict diet or any specific diet per se while losing the weight. I lost 70 pounds on my own without the assistance of Mounjaro, and then I started Mounjaro after having lost about 70 pounds. So I really just made a lot of lifestyle diet changes. Diet changes isn't meaning cutting things out necessarily. but it is being, of course, mindful of portion size and things like that.
Her before and afters were amazing, jaw-dropping. She went from so unhealthy physically to a very physically healthy looking body. Good portion of muscle and fats, prime meat, I would say. But even though her results were amazing, she was kind of shy, unsure if she should be talking about this topic as she's just a mom taking what her doctor prescribed her to take.
So I think I'm having like, what is it called? Like a vulnerability hangover where I'm like, why would I share like this personal aspect of my life? But you know what? We're just gonna roll with it.
But thank goodness Amy shared, because Oprah would notice her and want to feature her on her new show about Ozempic.
What happened after you went on Mounjaro?
Immediately, almost within days, that voice that I've had in my head since I always say my earliest memory is 5 years old. I remember thinking about food, when I'm gonna eat food, how much I'm gonna eat food, where I'm gonna, what I just ate, how many calories was it? But it was always thinking about every event, every vacation, where am I gonna get my meals, what am I gonna eat? And all of a sudden I took this medication and it felt like I was free.
Being on Oprah's show helped Amy's TikTok blow up, but it also came with more criticism, and that sweet mom getting ready to take her kids to school talking about Mounjaro would then turn more combative with the rise of comments calling her lazy or that she cheated.
Let's just say that Mounjaro or another GLP-1 medication is cheating or taking the easy way out. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking a medication that helps me?
But the comments would flood in. More people would call her a cheater.
You wouldn't have to keep taking the Mounjaro if you would just get rid of your big back tendencies. You claim you do cardio. The only cardio you ever do is your husband, and you barely do that because you're so tired.
Hi. So like, I know you were trying to say it behind my back, but I was trying to get your attention because I heard ya.
She would even clap back at Bethany Frankel.
Unfortunately, I got blocked by Bethany Frankel after sharing this video, where I basically regurgitated what she said in her video. She said Ozempic is a shortcut. I informed her that her definition of food noise, not so accurate.
But for the majority at the time, people really still liked Amy. They didn't understand really all the hate, and they understood that she lost weight before she even got on her Mounjaro recommendation. But most importantly, people who watched Amy were getting more influence to take a GLP-1. Girl, give me that Ozempic now. But then people started noticing she was getting so thin, almost skeletal. The comments would call her sickly and that her new look was far from healthy. And I and others noticed that she would always stand in a very odd way in her poses, making her body look even more slim and distorted. And most importantly, she would always talk about Ozempic.
Yeah, I went from this to this in 14 months. I'm gonna talk about how that happened.
All of the comments used to be, wow, you worked so hard, wow, you look amazing, turned to people saying that she took this too far. And Amy said, you know what? I am.
If you mean a body that went from this to this, then I guess I do have an Ozempic built.
Amy's videos went from promoting health to being skinny makes me happy. Posting videos about literally being scared of ever being fat again. She was literally fat phobic. When I walk into a haunted house, instead of seeing clowns and chainsaws, I see the old me, which is very understandable. If you've never been overweight, you might not understand the fear of going back to that size, especially when you are addicted to food. But anyone who's saying that they're having a wonderful life and they have ample amount of movement being the size that Amy was, I do question what they're saying, but I also question Amy because there's no hiding it. She's extremely thin now. But if you think about it, Amy's claim to fame was Mounjaro. Her constant dopamine hits and going viral was all because of Mounjaro. She got to be on TV because of Mounjaro. And now she can't stop talking about it.
You don't go from this to this just by taking a GLP-1 medication.
She actually says that she loves and is very proud of her Ozempic body. And personally, I don't think she's ever going to stop. Many people say that this drug can be addictive for people who are obsessed with their body and trying to get that thin aesthetic. But it's not only people who want to be thin that are interested in taking this drug, no. Now this drug is seeping into the athletic community. The world of of muscle, lifting, and having pulsating veins. Oh yes, the gym bros have found the miracle drug too.
Gym bros are using GLP-1s to get shredded.
You would think that GLPs wouldn't have seeped into the bodybuilding world, as many people claim that the Ozempic Body is gauntly, thin, breakable, and very similar to my friend Jack Skellington's physique. The rumor is that if you start taking Ozempic, your muscle just goes away. But you'd also be wrong. Yes, being on GLP can affect your muscle mass if you don't lift. And unfortunately, most people don't. But what happens when a person who's already on a strict diet eats the max amount of protein and lifts heavy weights, minimum 6 days a week? Well, those individuals describe the drug as pure magic.
So I know many of you guys are loving retatrutide, especially myself. It is the closest thing to a magic pill. And it is the main reason why you've seen big changes in my physique and overall day-to-day choices.
The bodybuilding industry is all about being lean, but built. They build the muscle and then they cut the fat. Many think that bodybuilders have to constantly eat a lot. Yes, they do to build up the muscle, but once you get to a certain point and you want to get that prime lean physique, you will get hungry and you have to deal with it if you want that plastic trophy.
Anybody on a cut understand no amount of food is going to satiate. Nothing. No matter how tasty you make it, no matter how voluminous you make it, no matter how much fucking fiber you put in it.
Life of a bodybuilder. Drinking super low calorie coffee because you're trying to suppress your appetite from being hungry all the time.
Cutting as a bodybuilder and being hungry is truly just name of the game.
Well, surprisingly, people are turning to GLPs to knock out that hunger noise that they used to have to just deal with. But for some reason, an industry full of drugs, shots, and steroids, Ozempic or GLPs are still looked at as cheating.
You see a lot of bodybuilders get so pissed when this is even in discussion around like GLP-1s being used for anyone within the sport. And frankly, I'm like, if we have this framework of justification around drug use as a whole, and we're following this, you know, I don't know, credence of like, this is okay, but this is not, how is modifying a phase that at this point to mean like the recommendation is just suck it up?
But the man that referred to the GLPs as pure magic is named Dawson Wees, a bodybuilder clearly not lacking in the muscle department who came out about his GLP-1 usage, and he has no problem telling everyone what he's doing.
So I wanted to talk to you guys about the new GLP that I'm going to run. And no, it's not bioglutide.
Perhaps we could also talk about, my dear Dawson, putting a windscreen over your mic if we continue to film these outside. I am immortal, but my ears are still sensitive. If you go on TikTok, many athletes are using Ozempic and not shy about it at all. Take, for example, Amina G Fit. She literally has that she's taking GLPs right in her bio. Her before and afters are also very amazing. And whenever someone openly talks about Ozempic, they get that normal question of, do you regret taking Ozempic? And she says, absolutely not. But then a professional athlete would jump onto the Ozempic train.
Yes, I'm on row. They say GLP-1s for weight loss is a shortcut. It's not. It's science.
And the world would be absolutely pissed.
Star athlete Serena Williams promoting a weight loss drug was certainly not on my 2025 bingo card, and frankly, I find it to be deeply unsettling.
Many were confused, but a lot were saying it validated them, because if a professional athlete couldn't even lose the weight without some type of GLP-1, then what's the hope for them?
There are few things that I have ever felt so validated than when I heard that Serena Williams is on a GLP-1. She was talking about how she was training 5 hours a day, professional athlete, doing all the things. Her trainer's saying, you need to release LBs. And she's thinking, I'm doing all this stuff. I hit a certain place and I always can't get below it. Set point.
No matter what the opinion is, an athlete promoting, endorsing, influencing, and using a GLP-1 sent the internet into a frenzy. A lot from the Black community, many saying she was never fat in the first place. To be honest, typical behavior from my own community. She might not be fat to our community standards, but she is overweight, athlete or not, and clearly had an overeating issue, but my community still seems to not understand that. Instead, they blamed her weight on her white husband, saying that she got influenced by the white community because white people get thin. Black people stay overweight. No matter how much Serena talks about how unhealthy she was at that size, people would say she was healthy already.
After having my first kid with Olympia, and then, you know, in particular after having the second kid, I was never able to be at a healthy weight that I could be at, whether it was my joints or blood sugar levels. It was just always something that I suffered with.
But even though she got some backlash, Serena said she doesn't mind being open about it, as it's the truth. She took it and she doesn't regret it.
A lot of people have been wondering about my new fitness journey and what I've been doing, and I've been really open about me being on GLP-1s.
Although there are a lot of athletes, celebrities, influencers claiming that this drug is a miracle and all their physical dreams came true quickly and easily, and all their health issues, they diminished after taking this, there are people saying don't do it. And this sleek blue vial of vanity is rumored to come laced with a lot of side effects. One thing that Ozempic and other GLPs have proven, that if there is a pill that can solve your weight issues, people will take it in secret or openly. And it seems that GLPs have helped so many mortals who have a bottomless pit in their stomach, but at what price?
And I was vomiting and I'm in bed and my son's like, can you like play tag? And I'm like, I can.
No.
And I was like shriveling away. I lost 30 pounds so quick. I looked great.
Wow.
And I couldn't lift my head off the pillows.
Yes, there are issues and side effects that you can experience from taking Ozempic. Little things like nausea, but there are some more potentially long-term side effects as well. Minor things, gallstones to thyroid cancer.
The other side effects that aren't talked about enough is gastroparesis, which is a paralysis of the stomach.
And many influencers who are warning people to not give into Ozempic are becoming the anti-Ozempic influencers.
Black box warning on Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, Trulicity, Byetta, you name it. All of them have a black box warning that this Gila monster venom, and the venom protein for those interested is called Exendin-4. Black box warning is within 12 to 36 months you will develop medullary thyroid cancers of all kinds.
I was only on Ozempic for about 4 months when I ended up in the ICU, an intensive care unit, for 10 days. I nearly died.
Stomach paralysis seems to be one of the most prominent side effects that I hear the anti-GLP-1 influencers warn their people about. But doctors have come out and corrected this claim.
You will get these side effects on Ozempic, but they don't include stomach paralysis. Real Dr. Bay, board certified plastic surgeon, and this is my take. Online or on TikTok, you always hear about stomach paralysis because it sounds so scary, but that is actually an extraordinarily rare side effect that's due to delayed gastric emptying. Delayed gastric emptying, one of the ways these medications actually work to help you lose weight. Statistically speaking, you're not going to get stomach paralysis, also known as gastroparesis, from delayed gastric emptying. What you will get from the delayed gastric emptying is nausea, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea, burping, bloating, and abdominal pain.
But you know people, many don't trust doctors and they will say hogwash. She's just trying to make a quick buck. Get me to take the shots. You just want people's money. I think the most popular influencer, TV personality, if you will, that would qualify as an anti-Ozempic individual is Julian Michaels.
Every time you bitch and moan, it just makes me hungry for your blood.
If you don't know her, and if you're pretty young, haven't been here for all the centuries like me, she's from the hit show and now most hated show, Biggest Loser.
Go!
And she is constantly speaking out against Ozempic. She'd just rather you sprint on the treadmill when you're 300 pounds and throw up.
So the information I'm giving you is fact-based. You can form your own opinion about that. You will plateau on this drug. Not an opinion, fact.
And once again, doctors and specialists have come out combating the claims of the anti-Ozempic and GLP-1 influencers, especially Julian Michaels.
Hey Jillian, I was watching the other night on Bill Maher, and you got some of it right, but you also got some of it wrong. I'm Real Dr. Bay, board certified plastic surgeon, and we actually have over 900 patients that we've treated in our weight management program on these active ingredients, GLP-1 receptor agonists, tirzepatide, and semaglutide. So you got it right that you can plateau on these medications, but you can plateau, and thankfully you can plateau on all types of weight loss, bariatric surgery, diet and exercise, and these medications, because you don't want to just keep losing weight into nothingness. The issue becomes if you plateau before you reach your goal weight, and that's actually one of these things that these medications can help you do, is if you hit a plateau, you can actually change up the medications and continue down to your goal weight.
But mortals, there are so many more saying that this drug not only helps them lose a significant amount of weight and hush that little voice in their head telling them to just eat it all. Not only did it also help them with their ADHD, but it also helped them with their PCOS.
Taking a GLP-1 changed my brain chemistry as an ADHDer with PCOS and binge eating disorder. Started my weight loss journey in June 2020. I had lost 80 pounds. So I know what it is like to lose weight the right way, the natural way. And let me tell you this. There is no prize for suffering the most. This is not the struggle Olympics. Before I was medicated for ADHD and before I tried a GLP-1, I thought that it was normal for everyone to think about food 24/7.
You know, even though I do love the red stuff, I hate needles, but as someone that has PCOS and ADHD, it sounds intriguing. Too bad I hate shots. Anyway, mortals, it seems it depends on the person, doesn't it? Will you take the serum of this little vial of less hunger and hope? Or will you choose absolutely nothing, the old-fashioned struggle, and that little voice constantly saying, eat the whole cheesecake? However you lose weight, it means absolutely nothing to me, as I do like to keep my figure. So I stick to lean meats, trim, tender, minimal fats. And I can tell that you have been working substantially on that body. And I do have to say, it looks tasty.
They always think the hunter's not prey.
Oh, before I finish, can you kindly subscribe? Goodbye, mortals.
He said you're looking deadly tonight. I said you're observant but not bright. He thought he'd taste my cherry wine. Now he's the vintage I'll dine. Oh, I don't need no mortal love. My youth's a gift from up above or down below. Who really knows? He leans in close. That's when I show. I kiss his neck, sweet scent on skin. The room spins once I sink right in. His heart beats soft, then goes dim. I smile, wipe my lips and bite him. Every century, same routine. A lipstick red, a hunger mean. They call it lust, I call it art. I pierce his soul and drink his heart. Mirror crack.